Just I hope you can handle the stupid shit that comes out of my motherfucking mouth, because nobody else looks at me.
Oh no, sometimes I'm unhinged. So.
Hey, you funny. I go, where'd you get funny? I'm just being myself and having fun with it. I don't know what else you want.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'm a little unhinged, so I think this will be great.
You'll fit in just perfectly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
What's that?
I gotta go take a fucking piss. I'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and we've got a new guest. And your name is... What's up?
My name is Showpow, and I am a world creator in VRChat. It's nice to meet you two.
Ooh, yeah, nice meeting you too, and we appreciate you being here.
Exactly. It's a pleasure having you on and getting to meet you. So, how long have you been a content or world maker and content creator here?
I've been doing it for about 16 months now. I started last year in beginning of May, right after I decided that doing avatars was not the route for me. I've tried 3 times and it sucks. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's try out worlds, and now here we are.
So you prefer worlds over avatars? Why is that?
I think it's just like the complexity. I mean, like, it could be a biased statement too. Like, the friends that I have who are avatar creators could say the exact opposite thing, where they assume that they would say that avatars are easier than worlds, when I'm the exact opposite, where I think that worlds are easier than avatars. But on my personal experience, I have prior experience when it comes to building and design and stuff. Like, I played I'm pretty sure we all played Minecraft for like a long time. A good portion of that came from there. And then when I bumped into Unity and VRChat, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice.
Ooh.
Like, I fit right in.
The way he's trying to tell me that I got what he's doing. He's great making bathrooms. Just worry about the flushing part. He hasn't got that one worked in yet.
Yeah.
And the toilet going.
Oh yeah, don't flush that toilet. You might crash yourself. Everything is optimized except for the toilets.
Once the shitter goes down, everybody's out of the room. I know how that works. Yeah, that works great. Hey, dude, go push that lever. Watch your shit go down. That's
funny that you mentioned that. The first world that I made, it was supposed to be a tutorial world, but I put a bathroom in it, and I made the toilet all gold, and it has weed imprints on it. It was perfect for people like me. But for the longest time,
sit on that gold throne.
Oh yeah. For the longest time, I forgot to put toilet paper on there. So someone was telling me like, "Yo, I'm trying to use the shitter here, and there's no toilet paper." I'm like, "Oh, I should probably fix that."
What do you think the sink's for? Wash your hands. Oh, yeah. All you have to do is wipe after. Hey, what the hell? If that don't work, shake it off. Just use the sink. Wash. It's air dryers over on the corner. That'll work for you. So.
Well, I remember this weird little ditty when I was a kid. Be a man to use your hand. Is a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah. Bidets? No, I don't use bidets. I just use the sink. It's cheaper.
Oh God. And we're back to the bathroom situation again, Ryan. Oh my God. I hope it ain't a running waterfall. Wash your hands and pee in it at the same time. Crap. Here we go again. Here we go again.
So, how did you get started? What was the first decisions and what led up to like the making of avatars and worlds and all this side of VRChat?
What made me start doing this, or the decision that I made, was like
both?
I've been on VRChat or both.
Yeah,
sorry?
Both. Yeah. Start at the beginning.
Well, first I started from the beginning. I've been on VRChat for quite a long time, like 6+ years and counting. I started back in February 1st, 2017, when VRChat decided to be on Steam. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But over the years, with like SDK 2, SDK 1, and all of that, I was like, you know what? Sure, let's try doing avatars, because I wanna learn how to make an avatar. It'd be cool to have my own personal one. I tried it. I didn't know what bones were. I didn't know what rigging was. It was really bad. I tried it 2 more times, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't show anybody these avatars because they're cursed. They're poorly made. And then when I heard about worlds, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I see a bunch of friends and a bunch of people who make like the most bizarre worlds and like things that are super creative, things you typically wouldn't expect to see in like a virtual world, let alone VR. And I was like, this would be interesting compared to like the things that I've done on like Minecraft or other games or platforms. It'd be interesting to work with something that's other than cubes. I could finally start working with spheres and triangles and anything else. So then when I started that last year, I was like, this might work. I actually like this, and it started becoming a passion of mine.
Oh, that's actually very
Here
cool.
for a minute, I thought when he said cubes, I thought he said pubes. My bad. My hearing's getting old. I'm an old man. Sorry. My bad. Keep going.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'll put a little bit one like, here or there in a secret like spot in the world. Don't worry about
find
that.
Find the pube in the world. That'll get interesting.
There's some secrets. Oh no, yeah, there's some secrets here and there. That's one thing I absolutely love doing. For the people who are listening in this podcast, I absolutely love putting secrets in here in my worlds. Sometimes they'll be obvious, sometimes they'll be like very hidden, but there should be at least one thing that I'll add in like a world or two.
Oh, why does it feel like adding secrets to your worlds?
The worlds that I create right now, like majority of them are all connected through the story project that I've been working on. That's still ongoing. And we recently just ended the first chapter. So the second chapter will be, I'm planning on starting it next year, but this first chapter, like the world's like the one we're in right now, is all connected through a story that I'm currently writing. That's already been, like the first chapter's already been finished, but everything from not the bedroom world, the first world that I'm talking about, where we were talking about the bathroom and the toilet, that a lot of people think that's connected. No, it is not. It's just a tutorial world. There's nothing connected with that. But every other world is like connected in a story sense and secrets. And I think as a game dev perspective, I think it's a very creative and a very efficient way to like reuse assets and stuff. Be like, oh, you want to put this tent here? Oh, I want to put this tent in this other world. It's just, we could just say that's connected through this and that. But it's just my way of saying like, oh, I'm just going to reuse this. Recycling at its finest.
So the biggest thing is when you're saying it's a storyline, where'd you get your idea for your storyline?
So the storyline that I was thinking of, like around like April last year, I decided to create this story that's based off of like this poem. And the thing that I could try putting this up right now, actually. I have it somewhere in my documents, my pictures, my world building files that no one shall know of, because that's how stuff gets leaked. But there's this poem that I wrote, and it was 8 lines of text, and I decided to make each world, which was 8 of them, into a world. So, like this one, for example, Cherry Serrulata that we're in right now. If you were to check the description, it says we ran from them. So that line is from this poem, and it's supposed to illustrate the certain point or the scene that we're in this story. And the story talks about like a king and a queen that rule this kingdom, and like they're having like, they go through this series of events, and it's like, it's supposed to illustrate like greed and stuff like that, but in a moral sense, in like an actual like meaning behind it, it's supposed to reflect on my experiences as a person, whether that's on VRChat or in real life. But it's just written in a way that's in a fictional story.
Okay. What are...
That idea. That's different.
That is. What is the experience that helped write the greed section then? This chapter, I guess.
So the greed section, I mean, like there's a few other things, but I feel like the greed part comes from like whenever you were to make something, or like whenever you're making something and you realize that there's a lot of benefit that you're getting out of it, and you realize that, oh, this is nice, I want more of this. But then the more that you ask, and then you start getting greedy and all of that, and it's something that it starts to like get in the way of a lot of like relationships and friendships between you and other people, because the fact that, oh, I like all this popularity, I like all this social stuff, all this recognition, and when you're so submersed in a lot of this stuff, it gets in the way of who you are as a person.
Hmm.
I feel like that's one of the things that, oh, one of the reasons why it's one of those seven deadly sins. I'm not sponsoring the anime, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, the seven deadly sins is something that shows up quite a lot in media. Like, for example, I've heard a theory that most SpongeBob characters is based on one of the seven deadly sins, for an example.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that's actually really cool. That's how you wrote the story. Now, would people be able to like explore the world and see references to the story if when it's finished, they'll be able to read it, or is it one of those things where they'll have to like read it later and then recognize it at some point?
Uh, I feel like you could do either or, because I actually a few weeks ago I actually released the first chapter on this story. So it's actually found in a Wikipedia page that I had to make, which is off of my own Wikipedia page on VRChat. Yes, I have a VRChat Wikipedia page slash Showpow, if that's fine, if I could plug that.
Go ahead.
But
Oh, that's fine.
while you're
Plug
going
it.
through this, while you're going through these worlds of mine, you'll start to notice that there's a lot of connection through here and there. Like you'll see boats that are the same from like this world and that world. You'll see like crystals pop up. That's a very big reoccurrence throughout my worlds, is that you'll see crystals here and there. But if as you're reading through this story, you'll notice that there's a lot of things that are connected to the worlds, but there's a lot of things in the story that aren't shown in the worlds, because they're either small details or they're just not shown yet because they're in the second chapter. But as a person, like a person can go into a world of mine and then just experience it like a regular world. But for those who I know damn well who are heavy in love lore and stories, they'll dig into it to do the smallest nook and crannies. And whenever they were to do that, they'll notice, oh man, there's something connected here. Oh, what is this rock doing? What is this crystal doing here? And then they'll notice that there actually is a story. And if you were to read the story on the Wikipedia page, there's something connected here. Oh, and there.
Oh. Well, for all those who wish to read the story, we'll have the link in the description right down there once you click away. There's lots of fun things in there if you want to check it out. Self promo.
Oh yeah,
And
like
you promo.
I'll put a bunch of I'll give you a bunch of links to those things that I make. Like I have like a Twitter page. I have like my VRChat. I have a YouTube channel that I don't use very often. Like my VRChat YouTube channel is just for like world preview like videos for the worlds that I make. And I also link down the Wikipedia page or the story as well, if in case anyone wants to read that.
Oh. Well, so what is the premise for the story then? Like, how does it start, and where does like the whole hook come from?
So the beginning of the story begins where this king or this person, which would resemble myself in the story sense, he wakes up in this purple world. Like it's like a dream, basically, like a dream reality bubble. And since this is a dream, I'm a lucid dreamer, so a lot of the things can be controlled, and a lot of things can reoccur. Like I believe in the statement of dreams coming true, because especially when it comes to a vision, like because we call those visions, but it gets very trippy and it gets really eerie when you lucid dream something, or when you're having like you're dreaming, and then all of a sudden in real life you're like, wait, I've experienced this before. So by putting that into the story, a lot of the things in this world that this king wakes up in are reoccurrences in future worlds. So like for example, this campfire that we're in is in that dream world that we're in, that I'm mentioning. And at a certain point he teleports and leaves this realm, and then it wakes up in like a bed or something. You would have to read the story, but he wakes up and like the queen is right there, and then they're just doing their usual thing. And they make this new civilization, this whole kingdom. And if I were to I don't want to get into too much details, but basically king and queen live in a civilization. They grab these powers from an unknown land, and it makes these guardians very angry, and they're like, "Hey, don't do that. We don't like that." And then these guys are like, "Oh, I'm going to use it for our powers. It's very nice." And then the guardians are like, "Oh, okay then. We're gonna send this whole ass army to kill you guys." And you're like, "Oh no, don't do that." And then yeah, and it just goes down from there. A whole ass purge.
Whoa. That's actually really interesting. I'll have to read it myself. Again, down there, check it, click it. So, funny thing you mentioned lucid dreams. I've only had those, like, I don't lucid dream much, but I have had personally a few of those dreams that will, like, you'd have and then you'd see later. Like, there was this one point back when I was a kid. It's like I had a dream. It was very brief, where I walked in through my grandparents' house, looked to the left, looked at the sink and the cabinets, looked at my grandfather, and then the dream was over. And I saw a certain series of events, certain objects or places, everything matched later on. How I walked in, everything else. Kind of weird. Have you had any experiences like that, Showpow?
Oh yeah, was there also a golden toilet in that dream as well?
No, there was not.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
Say it, Raptor.
Nah, fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah, he had a fucking dream, all right. Woke up and asked what kind of dream it was, folks. If you can guess it, put it down in the link below. Da-da-da-da. Boom.
I'm gonna send you lots of
If you
more
get my
purple
drift.
fucking crayons.
Hey, send all you can. I need those crayons. I get a whole bunch. I get myself a new cigar box to put them in.
Well, based on a previous video, you have
Oh, yeah.
a barrel of crayons. I'll send you more since I have your address. You know what? When I send you back
shit.
that flag, I'm gonna send you a crate of fucking crayons.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah, here it comes. A crate?
You're
A
gonna send him a
fucking
box of
crate of
purple
fucking-
crayons.
Yes.
Just to be a shit. Yeah.
In one of our previous
In a,
videos with
in-
Par,
Yeah.
Par jokingly said, "You should send this guy crayons because he mentioned, or me pictures of crayons or whatever, because he mentioned he has a barrel of crayons from when his wife was making candles."
I got a tote. No, it wasn't making candles. You got that wrong. You're gonna hurt yourself, son. Slow down. No, what it amounted to is the stepson used to go around saying couldn't say the word purple, right? Well, being the smart ass she was, she got him all purple crayon. And there's a whole tote of regular crayons sitting in the garage because she took them put them all in there except for the purple crayons and gave them to her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an inside
That's
joke.
funny.
Rick.
Yeah. When I was watching the podcast with Par, I noticed that like you mentioned about the purple crayons. Are you sure it might not be lean or something like that?
No. Just the shit that goes on in my household that never fails. So somebody's always pranking somebody. But it's usually about the time Christmas comes around. You screw up the whole year, and guess what? What you screwed up is gonna be in your presents that year. Never fucking fails. It don't matter who you are. Even me. Never fucking fails.
Oh.
They send you a whole box of purple crayons for Christmas later.
Yeah, a box of fucking purple crayon.
Well, Christmas
You know what's
is
gonna
coming around,
happen.
Raptor.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen.
What's that?
Stepson's gonna go, "What the fuck you doing with all my purple crayons? I'm gonna get an ashtray, and thanks a fucking lot."
You're welcome. What are friends for?
A
You know,
friend's
I wonder if
for,
Amazon will sell
right on.
crates of just purple crayons. You know, you like gummy bears from Amazon. That's like
Can you imagine?
20 pounds of gummy bears
Can you
instead.
imagine?
It'd be like 20 pounds of purple crayons.
Can you imagine fucking UPS a semi pulls up in my front yard going, "You got a forklift?" I go, "Yeah." "Good. I got a crate over here you gotta unload. And you got a sign for this." What the fuck did Lion? Oh, fuck. Lights on. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Purple crayons.
Love you, Raptor.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
You just pull over to his place with like a giant pickup truck and then just a U-Haul of purple crayons. You just dump it into his garage.
Better than a pickup
Fuck no, I
truck.
can't even walk in my garage now. I don't want any more shit in my garage. I got enough crap now in there.
Better than a
I can't
pickup
walk
truck.
Purple car, purple everything.
Over here, there's a store called Home Depot. You know how some hardware stores you can rent that really large truck with that hydraulic bed that goes up and down. I fill the back of it just with purple
yeah.
crayons, not bags, just loose purple crayons. And I'll pull up to his house and just dump all the crayons and leave.
God. Oh my god. I'd have one of the biggest fucking. Well, that'd be cool. I wonder if I did that and I gotta fucking redo my front yard. Just put crayons in line all over the fucking ground and leave them go.
Well, you could use the
I don't have to mow the
crayons,
motherfucker
melt them
anymore.
down, and make like little candle stepping stones, and then use epoxy to have it so they won't break down in weather.
Oh, I could go
That
even
looked
better
pretty
than
cool.
that. I could turn around, put them in a fucking goddamn bucket, put resin over the top of them, turn them on a lathe, and make lamps out of the son of a bitch and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Have a purple walkway on your house, and it's just all purple proxy, like pebbles and stuff. I think that would stand out a lot.
Oh. Yeah, they'll know where to go. What else is Raptor gonna do with a truckload of purple fucking crayons?
I don't know what else. No, sure in the hell I ain't making a house out of wax. I'll tell you that fucking much. Not in this heat. Fucking be, I'll be out living outside in the open.
Yee.
Yeah.
You
fucking
start like your own
bitch.
business with the purple
Yeah,
crayons.
yeah.
Make purple
What do you-
candles and then sell them.
Yeah, problem is, crayon wax smells different than regular common wax that they use. That fucking stuff stinks when it burns. Yeah. Hey, you want to get rid of your neighbor's cat? Just just like this purple candle, put it in the front yard. Everybody will leave. They stink like that.
Oh. So, how do all your worlds connect to the story that you've made in VRChat?
Almost all of them. The only ones that do not connect is if I could go to my
That's
menu right
Golden
now.
The golden throne room don't count.
Oh yeah, the golden throne room does not count. Sorry guys, but that toilet ain't going anywhere. That belongs to my bedroom. So the bedroom one that I uploaded, I'm pretty sure that's the only one that's not connected. The little side projects that I made, I haven't mentioned this to anybody, but some of the a lot of the side projects that I do are actually connected to it. I just say no because I don't want people hounding me again and be like, oh, what's this? What's that? What's this? Oh, this has to be connected to something. I'm like, oh, shit. No, don't think it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Well,
But everything else should be connected though.
oh, that's pretty cool. At least you have people who enjoy your worlds enough to actually hound you whether things are connected or not. Fans.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Like when I started doing world building, it was just because one, I can do avatars. Two, I have prior experience with like building in 3D environmental design, so it was just recalibrating to Unity. And I'm pretty sure all of us know how it doesn't matter how experienced, how good or bad you are with Unity. Unity does not like you. It'll shit on you. It'll crash. It'll do whatever it wants. It'll do anything that you do not want it to do except cooperate. It'll crash on you so much times. Oh, but remember to save though.
You know,
Remember to
Make
say.
backups.
that reminds me of a quote from the great Todd Howard. It just works.
Oh yeah, if it works, it works. But don't be surprised if Unity decides to just shit on you and be like, we're gonna stop, we're gonna freeze, and boom, you didn't save. Oh, even better. You're gonna redo like 9 hours of work.
Yeah. So, what has been the hardest thing for you to do working with Unity and making worlds for VRChat?
The hardest thing that I've ever done so
You had to
far.
learn. Yeah.
That I have to learn. Oh, so it's funny because this world that we in, it's connected to this. So a lot of the worlds that you see on VRChat don't typically have like, well, a lot of them, like if you're looking hard enough, there are, but in a general sense, not a lot of worlds have footsteps, like things where you can just walk around and you can hear footsteps and like it changes depending on what you're walking on, like wood or stone or anything really. There are a few, but not that many that I can name off the top of my head. So I was thinking that off of my style, because the style that I do is low poly scenic like environments, outdoors typically, indoors as well, but outdoors is my go-to. And what can I do to make mine stand out a little bit more and more different? So since I'm more of the immersive kind, I would focus on the footsteps. It took 9 hours. 9 hours to figure out how to do that. I went through 5 prefabs. I went through 3 that I paid for that didn't even work. I went through 1 that was in a different language and didn't even work. And lo and behold, there's this Japanese one that I found that it was paid for, but I found it. I was like, oh my god, this might be the one. So in the span of 9 hours working on this world that we're sitting in, it was definitely worth it. But I lost brain cells. I lost my will to live. I was down to my last strand of purple crayons, man. It was something. But was it worth it? Oh yeah, it was, because it was something that was definitely worth doing.
Hey, Lion, you can tell you did a lot of purple crayons in here. I got a purple fucking shadow. Hey, look at it. I got a little dicker down there. What the hell is that? Oops. Sorry, folks.
Lord. So, why was the footsteps the hardest thing, Mask? Because I don't know much about world building, so I'm gonna ask you some questions like that. Fair warning.
In terms of footsteps, you have to calculate you have to have the player model, the player, and then the controller asset. You need to know you need to know the velocity of how fast it's moving, and like a lot of things are put into place when it comes to like physics and the velocity of how fast your character's moving, what they're standing on. And it's just a big pain in the ass too, because like sometimes you'll work with an asset that says that it can do something, and then you try to do it and you follow the instructions and it's not doing it, and you're like, how do I troubleshoot this? And it's just a pain in the ass. So when I bumped into this one, it was pretty straightforward. Just put down areas, set a sound that'll play when you're walking in them, and then boom. And there's a few things that you could do, like change the velocity and shit like that. It took a long time because I don't know Japanese. I learned it for a little bit back then, but I kind of given up because languages aren't my thing. I'm not good with learning languages, so I had to get a translator. And after understanding how it works, it was just it was just a walk in the park.
Maybe you should. Would you send me the links? Send me the links for that specifically, and anyone's interested, I'll put in the thing down below with everything else.
Oh yeah, I can't remember exactly where I found it because it was exactly a year ago. Because by the time this world was uploaded, it was in September, and that's when I implemented the footsteps. But it's a paid asset, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to go look and go digging to find it though. But once I do, I can send it to you. I can send you the link.
Oh, sounds good. I could always push this video back to like maybe Tuesday or Thursday. Whenever this is uploaded, hopefully it's in the description.
Oh yeah.
Yee. So what other things was hard since you words, brain cells work, English? Okay, I think I'm good.
You got this?
Spit it out, bitch! Spit! Talk! Quit fucking around, man. Get it out. What do I got all night?
Based on your size, I could throw you. Careful. So
throw me. All you gotta do is step on me.
I can just blow and you'd be gone. You said you did environmental and graphical design like Unity before. What was what made it easy? What made it hard to transition from what you do to Unity?
From the past thing that I did was Minecraft, and like everybody else, unless you're like a Redstone Andy, building is one of the most crucial and fundamentals of Minecraft. And when I found out that I could do more than just a dirt house, and I learned about framing, learning about organics and stuff like that, it got to the point where I started doing commissions and stuff. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I could do this a lot. So doing that for how many years, and then bumping into VRChat, and then learning about Unity, it was like some of the skills and things in terms of a designer perspective, they do translate well, But since this isn't like Minecraft where you could just put down a block and then put down water and all that stuff, you actually have to worry about like, okay, if I put down this dirt block, how is that going to affect the optimization? How is that going to affect like the rendering and like when people go into the world, let alone for questies too, right? Because Quest users like the headset, I have a Quest too, so I understand the limitations and the pain of optimization and stuff.
Ah. So I'm gonna ask you some questions on that then. We've talked to a few people who've mentioned Quest optimizations. Is it easier to build for Quest or PC, and why?
Hmm. I feel like it's easier to build for PC, but it does come with its pros and cons, just like with Quest. Reason why I think PC is a little bit easier is because you don't have to worry about like scaling down a lot of. Well, typically, if you want to make sure things are optimized, you want to scale things down. But on VRChat, this used to be a VR exclusive. It was PC only.
Mm.
So whenever you upload something that's an avatar or something that's a world, you don't necessarily need to worry about things not being compatible with like Quest because there's a lot of creators out there that are just predominantly focused on PC worlds and avatars, and the stuff that you see on VRChat that are PC only are like, man, you can start like a video game off of this. Like if you ever see Jar's World, that could be made into its own into its own games. If you see Worlds from Fins, like all of these experiences and stuff could be its own video game or its own standalone platform and stuff. Like the things on PC can be like, it's phenomenal how creative and how talented these people are. Of course, on the Quest side, you have the same situation too. But it's the only thing that draws me back from Quest is the fact that it can only handle so much. I have a lot of friends and a lot of communities that are focused on the Quest side and the metaverse and having to deal with all of that. I feel like it's easier and better on the Quest side when it comes to something that's more of a corporate and a more of like a community focused side. Whereas in PC, it's more of the quality. Of course, you want to make sure that it's performant and all, but I feel like PC is a lot easier.
Okay. So, so do you think there are a lot of the world builders are okay, or VRChat creators in general? Do you think they're willing to work with the Quest platform, or do you think it's kind of a or is it something, or they're not?
I feel like it kind of depends on the person themselves too. Like if you don't want to do Quest, it's not mandatory. You can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
But in the case of like if you really want to strengthen your skills, I do highly recommend doing a Quest because or Quest optimization because as much as the pain is for like scaling everything down, making sure that it doesn't hit the max capacity in terms of like max world size and stuff. Because right now, max world size, the hard cap for Quest worlds is 100 megabytes. There's only so much you can fit in 100 megabytes. But in terms of Quest optimization, like if you wanna know how to optimize a lot of things for Quest, you could translate that over to PC. I say go for it if you really want to put in the time and effort to do that. But at the same time, if you don't want to, then that's fine. Like go ahead if you want to do PC. There's nothing wrong with that.
I believe a friend of ours, Badger Blunts, he like got into world building because of the Quest platform. Like he wanted to build stuff for that, and he said something that kind of stuck with me a little bit. He said, "If you optimize for Quest, you over optimize for PC." Something of that nature.
Oh yeah. 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 I completely agree with that because I tend to do that sometimes when I'm building. Is that I learned how to do this thing for Quest. What if I do it for PC? And you realize that the quality is like not that good, and like you're overdoing it basically. There's a certain like limit to how much you can optimize. Like you can optimize as much as you want, but how much can you optimize until you're reducing the quality? Because you want to find that Goldilocks zone of performance and quality without having to like sacrifice a few things here and there.
Ah. So, do you think with the new VRChat update coming out that's in beta right now, the 2022 Unity, do you think performance for Quest and PC and stuff will work better at all?
Oh my god. Oh yeah. I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for okay, you don't realize this that it's so like it's so restricting to work on 2019. There's so many things that are problematic when it comes to the build that we all have to work on. And I always tell this to my friends and other world builders or avatar creators like once we get to like 2022 or more recent, I am very excited to see the creative like products and things that people can make in a new build because one, you can optimize a lot more things. Two, it's a more stable. Like the shift is gonna be hard, of course, but it's just a matter of recalibrating to a more optimized and recent build. Three, like there's a lot of things, there's a few things that 2022 can add in where it will help with optimization. A lot of the games and the worlds and the avatars that creators like us can make in a more earlier build or more like recent build. Whew, I am very excited to see what's going to happen when we update that to live build.
So are you in the beta for it currently?
I personally don't want to be in the beta right now. I just want to wait until it gets to the live build, and so it's a little bit more stable. As much as I want to, I don't know if I want to like. It's like looking at leaks for a video game. Like, do you want to experience it like firsthand and like not have to worry about leaks? You just gotta make sure that you're not like digging too far and you're like, oh, I just spoiled the game for myself.
Yeah.
I wanna experience it when it's more stable and it's live.
Okay. So you've done some research into the newer Unities then. So what does the newer Unities do better than the older ones do then?
In terms of that, there is one thing that I noticed that a server is talking about, and they do this thing called they allow. So basically, in 2022, they allow a lot of world makers and avatar makers to use DOTS. So what that is basically like objects cost nothing in frames, and it's better to like it's better than instancing objects because when you're instancing objects and stuff, there's so many things that have to run through Unity. You have to batch all of this, you have to do occlusion, you have to do all of calling, a lot of this and that, and it makes worlds and avatars a lot very unoptimized. So things like this where it helps a lot in terms of like not having to worry about instancing and making things more optimized.
Ah.
Like in terms of avatar dynamics, like Fizzbones is going to be a lot easier. Loading the number of avatars will be better. Things will be more stable with the new engine upgrade. It's a lot of things like with VRChat, like as cool as it is, it's very unoptimized in a game dev sense, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. But this upgrade that we're going from 2019 to 2022, oh my god, it's going to be heaven for a lot of us.
So will current worlds be better optimized just by the upgrade, or is this something people have to do manually?
From what I've heard, if I'm assuming that when you're making something and they pump out the 2022, they're going to make like a migration, like, well, how do you migrate this 2019 build to 2022? But in terms of already existing worlds, from what I can remember on the top of my head, is that things are already going to be like, it'll be compatible. Things that are made in 2019 are going to work in terms of worlds and avatars. But now that we're working off of 2022, things will be a lot better. Things will be more optimized. I feel like existing worlds, when people like, let's take like Astral Balance, for example.
Yeah.
Like that world, I was there last night and it's really nice. However, that world has been built on 2019. Imagine what it's going to look like and how optimized and how well performant it's going to be when we go to 2022.
Whoa.
And that's just one example. Let alone like think about that for avatars too. Like there's a friend that I have. I'm not gonna say who, but he has a 300 megabyte, probably almost a gigabyte big avatar. And when we go over to 2022, oh man, that's gonna be like divided by two. That's gonna be like half the size, and it'll be more performant.
Whoa. So what you're saying is there's a chance that if you have a poor quality avatar, it won't be poor quality anymore, in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense, I would agree. Like, of course, that if you were to do the same methods that you're doing in 2019 compared to 2022, like it maybe you'll see like like a few changes here and there because Unity is like, oh, we didn't do this last time, we'll do this time. I feel like some of them, like if you were to follow the same methods, then there will be a little bit of change, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like poor performant avatars will be a little bit better too.
Hmm.
Another thing that brought up does that I don't know if you have you heard rumors about like world performance, like world performance stuff like that, like because with avatars, there's like the performance scale, right, with from very poor to excellent. But I always hear about people saying that there's gonna be the same thing for worlds. And I'm curious to know if you heard anything about that.
I have not per se. I also don't delve too deep into like the updates. I will wait until after it comes out and then I'll look into it. Although I wish I could catch the because Tortles, he does a Twitter space live chat with a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
content creators and VRChat staff, and the update was one of the things they talked about. I worked during it, so I couldn't catch all of it. I was able to catch a few minutes of it, but I have not heard anything about that. Sadly, is there anything that you know about it? Maybe.
Well, off of what I can think of, I'm pretty sure it's just a rumor, but it feels like a rumor that might come true though, because with avatars, you want to know how performant it is. With worlds, we don't have anything like that. Like we do have like the world size and all that stuff. We want to know, like we know, like if we were to play test it in Unity, we can see like the little statistics, like what's batched, what's instance, what's this and what's that. Like what can we see? How many frames are we getting? That's pretty much like majority of what we can look at. We don't have a performance scale on VRChat for worlds. It's
Yeah.
something that would be very helpful too.
I, there have been some things like that I've heard some people say. Like another thing I've heard that they'd like to see VRChat include is like statistics about avatars, for example. Like how worlds have, like how many favorites do you have, how many downloads and things of that nature. So you get feedback from that as well. So I it wouldn't be surprised with things like that if you'd see a performance scale for worlds. It wouldn't surprise me. It'd be helpful. Like there are a lot of worlds made in like Japan and China. You'll see it here, and it looks fine. But you hop into it, you go immediately down to like 2 frames, and your computer chugs hard based on like shaders or whatever they're doing in the world at the time.
Oh yeah, like the Japanese and Chinese community in VRChat in terms of avatars and worlds especially. Whew, that's like it's so creative. There's such a nice community too. Like I've been invited to a few like events here and there from the Japanese community, and they're so wholesome. They're very outgoing, very welcoming, and the stuff like the art that they do is on a whole other level. Like I joined these worlds and I'm like, what is this, man? This is nice, but my frames don't like it though.
Yeah, the worlds over there look beautiful and amazing. Like, am I in a TV show or a big budget video game? Why is my frames at 3? But it looks great. I don't want to leave. But my computer hates me and sounds like a jet engine.
Oh yeah, like when you turn on like your PlayStation or your Xbox and it just like, oh my god, it's gonna blow up.
There are some, like, my computer, when it heats up, sounds like a jet turbine. There'll be sometimes that if you're in a world, will be like, I think Raptors heard it a few times, where we'll be in a world that'll make your computer chug, maybe with a lot of shaders and objects instance in there or something, and you'll just hear the jet engine in the background of my audio, boop, go off, and my computer sounds really angry in those worlds because of it. Like it'll immediately start heating up in some of those worlds, but they look so very well done. And
Mhm.
like even like it's some of the more optimized worlds like Japan Street, it is so massive and it looks great. Like it's optimized as shit, but it's huge. It's like walking around like in the actual city. If you've ever been in places like that.
Oh yeah. Like there's this one world that I bumped into a few weeks ago. I don't think it was made by a Japanese creator, but like I don't want to be picky about this, but I noticed this is one world that I bumped into. It was I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a cruise ship. Well, not a cruise ship. It was a yacht. And I was like, okay, cool, because we're gonna be taking pictures in this yacht. Like the yacht itself was really nice. It was very immersive. Lots of little things you could do, like you play billiards, you could play cards, like you have there's like a TV player and all that stuff. I go outside. There's no skybox. There's the water is acting sus. It's looking weird. It's not even like a plane. And I check the world size. It's a 1.1 gigabytes.
I see
And
that
I'm
one.
like,
I
what?
was there. I see
You
what
saw-
you
yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I was joining my friend, and I get a DM from her, and I'm like, what? I'm so sorry. I'm like, what? What are you sorry about? I checked my VRChat, 550 megabytes in. I'm like, what is this world that we're joining? And then I load in. Like the yacht, it's really nice. Like I'm not like. Yeah, it was really nice, but like for a whole gigabyte, I'm like, I don't know. I'm really curious to know what is eating up a whole gigabyte in this world.
My guess is the quality of textures. Like on
Most
VR, for
likely, yeah.
example, when you look at the yacht, like the water looks like it is like it looks really really good, or as close to realistic as you can get, and they're probably going for quality of look. So with that said, they probably aren't really caring about optimizing to make it run good. They're probably running it to look good. So you take pictures, it'll be like of 4K quality or what say you, and it looks amazing.
Yeah,
But it's a gig.
yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah. hmm I agree with that. Like, in terms of pictures and stuff like that, like, quality is important. And I guess it makes sense because it's such a small environment too. It's just a yacht. But I was also like looking at that too, going into this yacht, and I was like, what is taking up a whole gigabyte of space? I look at the textures. It looks a little bit like it looks a little reduced too. Like I looked at the books, and it didn't look like 8K quality. I was like, okay, if it's not the textures, it has to be the water. So I go outside, I look at the water, it looks really good, but there's no way that this plane of water with the shader on it eats up like 500 megabytes. I might have to go back to that world and figure out what it is. But yeah, that's like the whole reason of like having a world with a performance scale. Like we want to make sure we know if this world is performant. We want to make sure what it is. Like what can we take out? What can we put back in? And the feedback too, like the statistics. Like when you mentioned about avatars, like how much people downloaded it, how much people are using it, how much people have it favorited. Like for us, for world creators, we can only check like the visits, the favorites. We could check like somebody's like favorites if they have their playlist of like public, and see if they have ours favorited. Like it's very limiting.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that they'd like to see that data, whether they're avatars or worlds. It's nice to see the data statistics. Like for example, if they're trying to build something and they want to see what kinds of worlds did people like, so they know what style of
Mhm.
art, for example, they want to continue with, whether it's avatar or world. It is nice to be able to know, oh hey, they liked World 2 and not World 1. What was it about World 1 that did different? How can I change this so that it looks better? Stuff like that. And I do see it would be nice to see in worlds, like you know how if you look at the avatar stats, it's like how many bones, how many
Yeah.
light sources. It'd be cool if they just at least had that for worlds. Like
Oh, that'd be
you go to
very
setting,
interesting. Like,
how many meshes are in there, how many shaders and light sources and audio sources. It'd be cool to see that, but from the world's perspective.
yeah, I feel like that'd be very useful too, because like in terms of feedback, all we have right now is like the heat and like the reports. But like, what is it about the report? Like, it was I find it to be a little bit on the good side when it comes to reports, unless you're talking about like fake reports because they're like, oh, I don't like this I don't like this world creator or this avatar creator. I'm gonna report it, or I'm gonna rip it, or some shit like that. Like it's very aggravating. But from my experience, at least, like I'll check like VRChat. I'll go on the website and I'll notice that there's a world that has a report, and I'm like, oh, that's new. Okay, I'm gonna go to this world. What is it about it that somebody wanted to report it about? Is it the quest side? Is it the PC side? Like I had to figure this out on my own. There's nothing that can tell you like, oh, why did I report this world for? Like, I don't know.
Huh.
It's like that's why it's so useful to have things that are like that.
it would be nice to see in the coming updates that VRChat gave more stats for the creators, like
Hmm.
things like reports. What do they report about? Favorites, how many meshes, how optimized is it, how many light sources. It'd be good to see those kinds of things. And even from a perspective of knowing what you're being invited to, just to see, oh, is things in the red or is it in the green? Oh, it's in the middle. Okay, cool, I'll go there, no problem. Or is everything red? Yeah, this world's going to make my computer request chug. I don't want to go. It'd be, even from most perspectives, data is good to have anyway. And
Hmm.
it's not like VRChat couldn't incorporate it. It's all there anyway.
Yeah, like in terms of like the like for the people who are listening who are mainly Quest users who don't have a PC, I understand that pain. I understand the pain of joining a friend in like a very interesting world and then I just crash. I join a friend and I look at this world and it's like, oh, it's like 25, 30 megabytes. Okay, I'm gonna join it. Boom, I crash again. And I check the amount of people that are in here too. Like not only like is it the world itself that if it's not optimized does it might crash you, but the amount of people too. Like I'll go to like I'll go like the Trans Academy world and like there'll be like 75 80 people in there, and if I join on that on Quest, like the chances of crashing or just being sent back home because your quote unquote system ran out of memory is very high. So having to find out why the world has like made me crash or send me back to my home world would be nice. So whenever I'm making a world, I always try to be nice to, or I try to be very considerate when it comes to the quest community, because like even though it is major like a lot of it's filled with like quest kids and like their parents put the fucking thing on their head and then you just hear a lot of screaming kids in the black cat or some shit like that. There are a lot of good people who are from the quest community.
Oh yeah.
Like I had a lot of good experiences with like communities and who are just focused on quest. And when I show them the PC side, they're like, "Whoa, this is crazy! I didn't know you could do that." I'm like, "Yeah, like post processing, that's the magic of worlds and PC, but Quest can handle it because they're like they'll turn into a jet engine and blow up in your face."
Well, at least in the coming tech ways, it looks like Vive and Steam are coming out with a lot more powerful standalones. So there may become a time where Quest will be replaced with a system that can handle PC. Like for example, the Vive XR Elite claims to be able to run at PC level graphics, but it's a standalone. Maybe that'll take off. And then things like
Maybe.
optimization won't have to be that great of importance. But I don't see those things taking over too bad because they're still pretty expensive. You can get a Quest for like $400.
Yeah, yeah, like in terms of consumer, like the consumer's perspective, like quests are pretty cheap. Like compared to like PC like VR headsets and stuff. Like you have thousands of dollars, or you just put in $1,000 into a headset, excluding the trackers. And there's a lot of trackers that you could use. And I myself like I don't have base stations or anything like that because my laptop is pretty limiting. I had it for like quite a long time, but having to do or use alternatives is very interesting on the Quest side. Like when I'm on Quest, I'll hook up my phone and I'll use like an app to track full body tracking. It's not best. It's not really good, but it works. In terms of consumer stuff, like the Quest is like a lot of people can just buy it and then just strap it on. Like it doesn't even have to be about VRChat. Like if you want to like play Among Us VR or the Rec Room, you can do that. That I feel like I feel like the main reason why like the Elite isn't going to blow up as high is simply because of the price. Because if you're introducing all these high tech like very CPU GPU and like inducing like features into a standalone, but there's only so much that we could put into this thing, right? I mean, like as time goes on, we'll figure out new ways to do this, right? Like
Yeah.
I could just go on my phone and take a bunch of pictures in 8K. Like that's crazy that we can do that. 10 years ago, we couldn't do that.
No.
So I feel like it's just a waiting game too, right?
Yeah. You know, there's gonna come a time where VR chat will look so realistic. It'd be like watching TV but strapped to your face.
Oh yeah. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? That when Unreal Engine 5 was being rolled, I'm pretty sure it's out now. Oh yeah, it is out. But have you seen that video when they were teasing Unreal Engine 5 with that? It was a train station, and it was all made in UE5. And I
I
was like, "What is this? This looks real."
I did not see the train station, but there's a horror game that I think they used the tease or they're actually making. There's a horror game that made it on Unreal Engine 5, and it looks like a what's it you're ghost hunting, I guess, but you're not really ghost hunting. You're trying to like survive a ghost in your own home. And for a while, when I was watching first started watching the video, it's from like the character's perspective. So I thought someone was holding a phone up. I thought I was watching an actual video, not a video game trailer. The only thing that gave it away to me was the fact that the arm shot up to open the door. It's like, wait, nope, that's not realistic. And I caught it, but for the good solid minute and a half, it's like, where is this? And then at the end, they showed the monsters. Like, yeah, it's obviously not a real thing, but it looks so amazing on Unreal Engine 5. I'd love to see VR games in Unreal Engine.
Yeah, that's like it's crazy how realistic, hyper realistic, I should say, that we can make things in like a virtual world. Like with Unreal Engine 5, like a lot of AAA companies use these kind of programs. And like I remember playing Call of Duty and I just see I can see the pixels. But nowadays when you see games like that, nowadays I can't even see the pixels, man. It looks like it's real. Like that's crazy how close to reality and like things that we can get to make it look real. Like I'm pretty sure once at a certain point we can get Raptor that realistic looking purple crayon box. It looks super realistic. You don't have to worry about buying new ones. You have a whole you have your own virtual one.
Maybe at some point. Oh, ooh.
Don't give him any fucking ideas. He wants to put me in a fucking hamster ball.
Funny story about that. The person who works on his avatar, he actually on his own told her about it. And it was 2 days ago, she was looking at hamster balls and asking us which one looks best. So there's going to come a time where you'll see Raptor in a hamster ball running around VRChat.
Yep.
Although one of the ideas that
You just come out of that.
we threw out was Raptor can't toggle it. It'd be like you pull on his tail or something, it'll pop up and he can't get rid of it. So somebody like playing with his avatar, he'll be an avatar and he can't get rid of it unless he pulls of the tail again.
That'd be really funny. You just come out of the hamster,
so
come out of the wheel or the ball, and then you just pull out a giant fucking purple crayon, so whack people with it. It's my ball.
Oh boy.
You know we love you, Raptor.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Glue them together and make a wheelchair? Purple wheelchair going to town. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
We could, or you could put it in the hamster ball. Put a little seat that's free floating and self correcting. So when you go too fast, you'll watch yourself just spin in circles really, really quickly. You know, like when you see those videos with a hamster playing on the wheel and it runs real fast, then stops, and the hamster still keep on going.
Yeah, dirty. I probably got one barfing in my headset before the night's over with.
Just be careful with avatar pickup because you know some of our friends is gonna pick you up and then shake you around really quickly.
Ball! Whee! Oh, that or throw me and it spins in the air. Whee!
You throw like a baseball.
Yeah. I wonder if this bitch bounces against the wall if you throw it hard enough. Great.
I wonder if we could skip the hamster ball on this lake. Yeet.
Yeah, great. Better yet than getting in a bowling alley. All right, give me a strike, old man. Wing right down the fucking alley.
Not gonna lie, that may actually be a really fun VRChat game. Bowling, but you're the ball or your friends. Although you don't choose which friend is the ball. Just one of your friends
Ball?
playing
Oh
bowling
my
with you, just
God.
shrink down and be stuck in a ball, and you just huck them.
Just toss them and they spin. Oh God.
Have you ever played that on that World Super VR Ball before?
Yes, we actually have a video, old video in our shenanigans folder playlist where we forced a friend of ours to play Super VR Ball, and she's a very competitive
Oh my
person and
God.
did not want to do it. It
Oh,
was
shit.
hilarious because she spent the entire time swearing and complaining, but she would play it because she's competitive. So you would see it from my perspective because at the time I was one of the few ones to record who could record. So you'd see me going around, you hear me talking with Courtney or Narf, and then you see her running by, just swearing, screaming about something about Dr. Phil, and just continue on going by until she gets quiet, or ranting about Deadpool. It's hilarious. So yes, we've played.
It's like that one meme of the, or it's like, say Colorado,
Well, initially when we had her play Super VR Ball, we wanted to play. She said no. But like the horror maps we made her play, we convinced her to do it anyway. And then she played and she wanted to win. And Super VR Ball being Super VR Ball, she wasn't good at it. So she would get really angry and swear and just complain about random scenarios while being really angry. There was one point in time she blurted out she's going to send us all hateful Christmas cards. It was the funniest thing I've ever been a part of. Because this girl is like a 5'4" Canadian. And she's during this, she's loud and angry and is the funniest thing.
Damn, us Canadians, when we get angry, we just think of the most. We just think of the most like creative like arguments. Because I'm from Canada too, so like even though we might be nice and all, as they say, whew, once we get competitive and like we get angry, it's like we're swearing in lowercase.
Oh God.
I think she's gonna give Raptor some blue crayon boxes if she gets really angry.
Oh, she gives me shit and I give it right back at. She usually just tells me to shut the fuck up and it goes away. Yeah, that's usually how it happens.
Speaking of the girl, we have to
Great.
do another shenanigans with her where we play another horror map just to hear her freak out.
Oh God.
Love you, Sam.
Oh my God. Yeah, love the hell out of you, Sam. Sorry, I didn't come up with the idea. He did. He did. It wasn't on me this time. Boy. Fucking great.
We love our friends.
Yo, Sam, if Raptor pisses you off, just give him a box of blue crayons. Not everything except for purple.
Ah. This fucking crayon is blue! Son of a bitch, I wanted a purple bitch! Damn it, no more Christmas.
Oh, Lord. There are a lot of really cool games in VRChat, though, that I think make it worth having VR in total. Like the horror get maps people make in here, Super VR Ball, and other stuff like that. It is amazing to see people make all these creative games. And there's, especially during a time where not a lot of AAA companies are making games in VR. It's like very rare to see. You'll see maybe MetaQuest will have it exclusive, but it's not often. There's a lot of indie people making games, and VRChat's one of the few where you can see lots of cool shit.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of like making video games, like a huge aspect of it is just the coding process. But when it comes to VR and having to deal with like not having to go like you have the controller and you have the person who's in the world, in the environment, but it's on a screen. Compared to when you're in VR, you have a lot of new things that you have to worry about, like where's the person facing, how's he moving, how about your tracking on your hands, are you going to support full body tracking and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I completely agree when it comes to like there's not that many like games for VR, but a lot of indie companies, a lot of like solo creators are doing these things on VRChat. It's very interesting and it's impressive. Like I play, like personally, the games that I like playing on VRChat are like Prison Escape and stuff like that. Like things that are not like the typical like, oh my god, there's a sus, you're sus, emergency meeting. He took my purple crayons. I think you're imposter.
Well, one thing I have noticed about the VRChat creator community, like in terms of VR games, a lot of the builders, whether worlds, avatars, or games, in VRChat, tend to be better than a lot of big companies. Like, for example, let's compare to a big company connected to the Quest headset, Horizon Worlds. The quality difference between here and there is staggering. And a lot of the people who make stuff here is like one or two people, sometimes a small team, and some of them are doing it for fun, not for money. When you compare it to like MetaQuest over there, it's like laughable at best. Like Meta Horizons is just figuring out legs, but here we've had it.
Yeah, and then they just say like, "Oh, we're the first people to like implement full body tracking or legs and stuff." I'm like, "Bruh, do you not know about VRChat? We have mouth and eye tracking now. You could probably put little trackers on your fucking toes if you wanted to. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you wanted to, go ahead." Like, we've had this for how many years? And these guys are like, "Oh, we're the first people to do this." And then you look at their worlds and the products that they do, and it's like, come on, man. This ain't it, chief. And you look at the stuff on VRChat, and you're like, wow, this is an experience.
When I look at VRChat worlds, I'm going to use art as the metaphor. VRChat worlds is like that artist who use a combination of charcoal, marker, and paint to make some realistic looking stuff. And then a lot of the big corporate stuff out there for VR is like someone using crayons with their left hand when they're a righty. It's like, okay, cool, look, I made a tree, and it looks just like a big plus with brown and green colors.
Kind of off topic, but you kind of sounded like Kermit there for a little bit, trying to mimic the corporate people. Are you? Do you do impressions and stuff? If you have a Kermit impression, I'd love to hear it.
I don't do impressions.
Lion the Kermit the Frog here. He's ready to. I love it.
Lion the Frog here.
Look out when he tries to find Miss Piggy because he can't get his shit straight. Well, that porker's out of the window. We ain't gone down that road. She still tastes like bacon.
Don't get me started.
Knowing you're a
we
fox.
don't need to go down that hole. That is not something we need to go down right now. We're on YouTube. We're on the red and white YouTube, not the black and orange. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, folks.
That's
Sorry.
after the recording.
Sorry,
that's
I'm
after
not
the recording. Don't
colorblind,
worry
but he
about that.
Oh Lord. But yeah, there's a lot of the creators here being like solo people make so much better content than the big companies. And I will just world hop, and I'm just still floored at the quality you see here. Floored every day. I go into like the new tab and just scroll through. It's amazing. And a lot of people here, from when I've like talked to people such as yourself, is self-taught. And the fact that some people like in MetaQuest went to college for like 8 years to learn game design, and they're losing out to some dude in the Midwest who picked up Unity and Blender for free.
Oh yeah, like I think that also falls under that same situation where it's like, when it comes to a product like a world or an avatar or just like a video game. Let's take a video game for example. If it's made and developed by a team of people who are focused on a corporate standard and it's all money, compared to a team of people who are all passionate about it, you'll see this can be applied to anything like a video game, an anime, anything really. You'll see a very big difference between these two. Like in terms of the corporate side, the only thing that's like driving you to do more is the money. In terms of the passionate side, the only thing that's driving you is that passion, but you will have to worry about burnout and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you want to please the community and all that stuff. That's something that I always try to focus on when I'm making like a world or something. What can I do as a passion project that will help the community? I always ask people like, what do you think I should improve here? What do you think I should add here? Do I want to remove something? Is there something that you'd like to see in the next world? Like things like that. Like just a simple question is nice. Whereas if I was working with like a corporate like company, I wouldn't even probably do that. They'll be probably just sent towards the support tickets who would just shit out another, like say the same line of, "Oh, I'm sorry, we'll get to your request in the next 2-3 years." Like, come on, man. like when you're making something that's an art form, you have to care about the community as well. Like, of course you have to take care of yourself. Like self-care is important. But when it's something that's supposed to be presented to the public, you want to make sure that your customers are happy.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, just one of the reasons why I think VRChat in terms of like VR content is probably going to be some of the better ones because it's a community making things for itself. And people like you with
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff you make, it looks great. Like I enjoy seeing the stuff the community makes. I don't always talk about it here, but I'll just go through myself a lot of the time and just world hop for hours just looking. Hell, if in my profile, if anyone ever's in VRChat and knows me or whatever, look me up, Blind Turtle 21. But I have public playlist of my favorites when I world hop. I do it all the time. I just world hop for funsies and just make a playlist. Public playlist fills up, clear it out, start again. I think I'm in like the third filled playlist of 100, and now I have two instead of one.
Yeah. I do that too as well. Like when I'm bored, when I'm not friend hopping, I'll just jump through worlds and just hop around and see what the community makes, especially in the news section. And like the stuff that I see on there is way better than what you see corporate people doing. Like it's something that I would have never experienced. Like for example, like there's this festival that's happening, Rain Dance Immersive, if you've ever heard of that. And it's basically where it's like it's a festival where they take products and art and entertainment that's made by the community and they highlight it. Most of it is from VRChat. Some of it's like from like Rec Room or like other metaverses, but dominantly like 95% of these products and worlds and experiences and films and entertainment, what you name it, anything in the arts, is all from VRChat. If VRChat is that dominant in terms of like how good we can make these things in terms of worlds and visiting and seeing the experiences that we can get that you can't get anywhere else, that's crazy. Like when there's a website that I use sometimes. It's called VRChat List. If you guys want to know, it's called vrclist.com. And it's like a world repository where you can see like what worlds are trending. There's a feed, there's a search. You want to see like what is upvoted, what's downvoted. Or you want to know what's a sleep or chill world. You want to know what's like a good entertainment world, something that's a one of a kind. Go to this website. It's very nice. I have my own stuff on there. I have my own profile on there, but it's very nice to have something like that instead of having like I have a bunch of friends who have like playlists and stuff like for worlds for people who want to world hop and stuff. But for those who like don't know about that and people who like gatekeep and private their world playlists, just go onto this website vrchatlist.com and just take a good look at all the good stuff and the world pictures and stuff. Like the photographers, everything. Like the photographers, especially in VRChat, are super talented. Like you won't even know. Like a lot of the time, I don't even realize. Yeah, they're very talented. Like I'm friends with a lot of photographers, and sometimes like I won't even notice that. Oh my god, this is like in VRChat. This ain't real life.
There's a lot of worlds. There are a lot of worlds that are doing that in terms of like made for photography. Like some of the worlds we use I actually get from a photographer I follow. See if I can find the guy. Like I have two brain cells, so give me a second. But he'll post pictures of worlds, and I'll just take a look. Here he is, Neomance, I think is their name. VR photographer.
Oh yeah, Neomance.
Yeah, I've been following Neomance, and I'll see them post worlds and stuff like that. Looks amazing. Is that VRChat? Oh wait, that is VRChat. And on your other thing, the VRC list, there are murmurs of VRChat adding better search functions, I think. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like when you, yeah, like in terms of worlds, if you were to like pull up the menu for the worlds and you just search it up, like we have a lot more things that we could do. Like we could have a refined list. We could like go to avatar worlds. It's funny because all of us always wanted to be able to search up avatars. And what does VRChat give us? We're like, oh, we'll give you the ability to search for avatar worlds, but we're not gonna give you like a search engine for avatars. Like, kind of works, but like, I don't know. But in terms of like finding worlds and realizing that they're gonna try and making something like this on their own end, it's fine. I'm glad to see that VRChat is finally listening to the community in terms of like quality of life and stuff like that after they added in what we all hated, EAC.
You weren't a fan of EAC?
Well, in terms of like, it did come with good and bad. Personally, I never use clients or mods and stuff like that
Mm.
because I'm just focused on like making worlds or just like the social aspect, like talking to friends, playing games and stuff, or just focusing on things in real life.
Hmm.
But I do understand that like there are a lot of good things that EAC did, but there are a lot of bad things that EAC did. Like the security of easy anti cheat is not that good. Like it'll take some effort, but it's not that hard to bypass it. Like
Yeah.
any other games that use easy anti cheat, like this is a recurring problem. But in terms of like getting clients and most modded things like out of the way, then yeah, it is
Well,
good, but it also steers away the good people out.
yeah. Well, I'm one of the people who's pro EAC. Fair warning. But the way I see programs like EAC, you don't necessarily. Putting things like EAC is a lot like putting a lock on your door. You don't put the lock on your door expecting people to like not be able to get in forever. But like people trying to break into your front door, a lot of the time, the fact there's a lock may deter a huge portion of people who's going to be breaking in because a lot of people just don't want to have to go through the effort. It's like when you go to like people who break into cars or break into houses, they'll just check the door and then move on to the next one until they find one that's unlocked. EAC is very similar. A lot of people may be deterred. Does that mean everyone's going to? Oh no, there's going to be that one client dev team who's working tirelessly against it. But how many of those mod teams stopped or went to other platforms? Quite a bit of them. But I,
Mm-hmm.
although on the flip side of EAC, I do think there are a lot of those mods that VRChat should have incorporated or worked with those dev teams so they can incorporate it into VRChat directly so they don't have to do the work. Like what Bethesda does with their mods and clients. Like they work with their mod community so tightly that a lot of those things get incorporated as direct content. Like for example, like within their current game that's coming out next week, the 6th, Starfield. A lot of those modded client teams who modded things for Bethesda work has made direct content in there. Like you'll find space freighters and stuff that those mod teams made. Same people who made your quality of life things there made content there. It's stuff of that nature. VRChat could take pages out of that book instead of like outright just dropping the hammer. And that was the one thing I disliked about it. But I've also been in favor of it.
Yeah, like in terms of like EAC, I feel like it did equally good and bad. Like especially in terms of like the community and the dev team and the mod team. Like after they implemented EAC, it literally took the whole community to pin them against a corner. And after they added EAC, like, can you please do this? Can you please do that? Can you add in like searching for this? Can you add like these little quality of life things? And they're finally doing this. But we have been doing this for the past how many years before EAC was implemented. So it took the sheer amount of will and force of all of us to get them to listen, and then now they're finally doing it. And I think that's like a good path that they're taking now, where you're working with the mod team, you're working with people who want to make your product, your like VRChat better. And now that they're doing this, I see like a good future when it comes to VRChat. But at the same time, there's only so much that we can get to, and like, what about the bad side? Because it's like that one quote. I forget the quote, but it's like every I forgot the word. It's like something along the lines of
I think I know the quote.
Every action has like an equal and opposite reaction.
I thought of a different quote. Every light casts a shadow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. Though I think with the size that I think VRChat's team is, there's only so much you could do with a game that's gaining popularity. Like even with what they've done, we have to give them a huge hand because VRChat is the dominant VR platform and will remain so until someone makes something else. That includes Rec Room. It includes Horizon Worlds and all the Decentraland NFT bullshit that's out there. VRChat is the dominant
Neos,
one.
chill out, and everything.
Whenever you look up VR, you see some form of VRChat content. Whenever most people think VR, the first thing they think of is VRChat. Whenever someone gets a VR headset, not like 90% of the time, it's for VRChat. So the fact that VRChat has that pull over the metaverse community is astounding. And I give them kudos for that. Like, they made an amazing product. And they do great, even with the AC and those problems, but things like that are bound to happen. It's just one hiccup on the road. The road is there's still plenty more ahead of us.
Yeah, like when they implemented EAC, I remember how childish and salty everybody got. I was all part of it too, and everybody moved over to like Neos or chill out for like a day or two, and then decided to come back, and now we're back to where we are. The community is still here. Yeah, we lost some people, but we gained some people, but it's a decision that's hard to make, but it's for the greater good. It's like that one Thanos quote where it's like the strongest decisions require the strongest wills. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It's a decision that has to be made.
Yeah. Although,
like the one I've got.
What's that?
I gotta go take a fucking piss. I'll be right back.
Hey, I second that. If it's okay, I need to use the washroom for like a minute.
Alrighty. We'll take a short pause. With the magic of editing, we'll come back.
Holy Christ.
We have returned from our little bathroom break. I also came back with a drink of spicy variety.
I had to use that golden toilet, man.
Ah, the golden
This time I remember to bring that fucking toilet paper.
I had to drain the main vein before it blew up, and I had to run down into my fucking shoe. That'd be a bitch.
Funny thing,
I drowned.
The not having toilet paper thing I did in real life when I first moved into my apartment. I bought one pack and then used it and just didn't buy more. And I eventually had to use paper towels.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. I think everybody's been down that fucking zone. Holy shit, the kids did tell me to fucking get toilet paper. Son of a bitch. Oh, Dad, we're out of toilet paper. Thanks, I'm in the air already. Yeah,
it is the weirdest thing having to like rush across, like, because I live in the my living room and kitchen are connected, and I have to play a game of a 50-50 chance is the patio door opener closed, and having to rush across to the kitchen where the bathroom is to grab the paper towels. So now sometimes my bathroom, in the off chance I don't buy toilet paper, I'll keep some spare bullshit in there somewhere. But I have a huge pack. I won't run out now.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of when COVID.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh yeah.
What'd you say?
I said you just walk by and wave with your schlong hanging out. And go, it's okay. I'm just getting shit paper to wipe my ass. Talk to you later.
Well, funny thing about
when this guy got a third arm.
Well, he's got a birth defect. I wonder if his mom knows.
Funny thing about COVID and toilet paper, there was a Domino's near me that did a promotion. Whenever you ordered pizza from them, they would come with a roll of toilet paper. Since they were able to order it from their warehouse, whenever I bought like a sandwich from there or a pizza from Domino's, the delivery guy would come with a roll of toilet paper every single time during COVID. And it was one of the most awesome but hilarious things that was a promotion that worked because so many dumb people bought toilet paper. Like, I work at a grocery store. And at the time, I worked for a different company than I do now. But I've seen a lot of grown adults, old and young, fight over carts of toilet paper. There's this one old lady that bought 2 carts of just straight toilet paper. And then this older gentleman started arguing with her over the fact that she got the last of it. And not gonna lie, it's one of the most funniest things I could ever say I lived through in my lifetime.
COVID changed a lot of people, man. That toilet paper is something else. It's a hot commodity. I've seen all these stories and people like I go to the superstore, I go to like the market, and I just see like what? Oh, there's the produce. Oh, there's the bread. Oh, wait, what is this empty space here? Oh, that used to be the toilet paper. Huh?
You know, I would see a lot of people walk into the toilet paper aisle during that time, look sad because there's no toilet paper. They'll walk to grab paper towels. I feel their pain so much.
They're like, oh man, all of
Yeah,
this toilet paper's gone, but all of
biggest
this
thing,
tissue paper, all of these
the biggest thing
paper
is when that
towels.
fucking set of economy are worried about what you're going to run out of. The ship paper's the biggest thing you're going to go after, not worried about feeding your gut.
Well, to be fair,
What the
I think
flying
the shit
fuck is
paper
it?
was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think one person may have thought, or a handful of people thought, oh, I should stock up on toilet paper. Other people saw them buying out the toilet paper and thought, I gotta buy toilet paper before it runs out. And the next thing you know, everyone's buying fucking toilet paper. It became a global fucking phenomenon. How? I don't know, but it was funny as fuck. There's videos of scalpers who bought out toilet paper, like they bought pallets of the shit. This one dude, after COVID ended, was stuck with a garage packed with toilet paper, so he started taking like photos for
I,
the internet in thrones of toilet paper he's sitting in and making shit out of it. It was funny. It's funny as fuck.
yeah, my biggest thing is imagine. So, how you doing there, John? Oh yeah, I'm great. I can't even park a car in the garage. Why is that? Because now it's packed to the rim with shit paper. Man, I got it made, man. The neighbors are knocking at my door, and I'm charging $100 for a roll. Holy fucking Christ! What a fucking setup that's gonna be. Oh boy. My God. Hey, Bill, buy instead of a cup of sugar, can I buy a roll of toilet paper for me? My God,
I'm
fucking
just
Christ.
whoever ran that Domino's to use toilet paper as a promotion, bravo! Great way to use the current events. It was amazing because fun fact, I ran out of toilet paper at the time. So with that said, Domino's, you're awesome.
Wait a minute. Can imagine calling on your order your fucking pizza and everything else like this and go, thank you, sir. Now that thank you for ordering your pepperoni pizza. Your shit paper will be on top of it all. My God.
Well,
My
to be
God.
fair, at the time when you go into grocery stores with COVID, there was nothing. Paper towels are bought out, napkins are bought out, toilet paper is bought out, everything, and everything that's paper related for food or your ass bought out and gone. So the fact that a place decided when you buy food, we'll give you a roll is ingenious because a lot of places like that or grocery stores
Genius in
for
it.
your own facilities can buy pallets of the stuff and it's always available. So the fact they did that for a promotion and it's great
Oh,
because I
shit.
guarantee
Yeah,
it would
it's
work.
great. It's a great idea.
Oh, cool.
It's a
That's
great
so
idea, but
smart.
Indeed, it is very smart. Like for example, like I'm sure in our area, there's a lot of the times the local grocery stores would be out of toilet paper, but you could buy a pizza and get a roll, so you get dinner and your bathroom covered in one go.
Oh yeah, like you order some spicy shit from Domino's. Don't worry, we got this whole roll for you. Might be used in
yeah, we
one go
got it
after
covered.
that.
It ain't our pizza. If you shit yourself, at least you got a roll of toilet paper to wipe your ass before the night's out.
Well, to be fair, of any company that needs that promotion, it's Taco Bell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Taco
Nice.
Bell shits are a thing. Holy well. With that said, folks, thanks for. Oh, before you go, is there anything you want to plug, Mr. Showpow?
Oh yeah, for sure. For the listeners tuned into the podcast, if you're curious to know more about world creation or just want to hang out with me and stuff, feel free to add me on VRChat. So my name is Showpow, Shopow. Join my group. Shows wholesome homies. We're very wholesome for the most part. And follow my Twitter as Showpow VR. I always post things that are related to worlds. Sometimes I'll post a meme or some photography there. And also, if you ever have a passion that you want to pursue, and you're willing to put the time, effort, and money, go for it. I don't see why not.
Well, with that said, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for listening.
And on that note, folks, we appreciate your time and everything else, but just remember, always have that fucking extra roll stashed away. Guess what? Your kids are gonna tell you, Dad, we're out of fucking paper. And you go, I got the last roll stashed in the bathroom, in your bedroom. You got it made. Have a good one, folks. Take care. Thank you again.
Be Raptor. Store extra toilet paper. Don't be me. Run across the kitchen with hoping you can reach the paper towel rolls without leaking everywhere. Goodbye.